and welcome to the Sunday Sports Show yet again. Sunday evening, the 12th of May. We're in full flow in the down leagues. So we'll have results from Thursday night, with results from the day. They're coming in live as we're sitting here. I know there's a match going on at the minute, Bosco and Glen. It was out the first half, so we'll keep you up to date on that. And it's 1-6 to 1-8 at the minute. 1-9 to 1-6 at the minute, we're getting informed. So it'll change and we'll keep you up to date as we're going along. Again, we'll run through all the pool results, darts. We'll have 2 tickets for the Furies on the 7th of June to give away. We'll give you the questions shortly and you can post your answers on our Facebook page. We'll have Down Ladies, fantastic win yesterday. We'll have the hurling. We'll have an interview with Fergal McCormick with Down Hurlers yesterday. And we'll have our friend Damien McCullough back in again. Give us a bit of crack about the Armagh Leagues and about his big orange and white night coming up shortly in the Canal Court. So first of all, we'll run with the pool. Paul is the pool there.
Here, Damien. There's only 4 games in the pool league this week, and there were 4 divisional cup finals that were played on Thursday night. Division 1 winners: McGuigan's A 8, TG Wanderers 1. So that's a big win for McGuigan's in Division 1 final. Division 2 final: Carrickcruppen 5, McGee's 4. Division 3 final: Quayside Ramblers 6, Armagh Down 3. And the Division 4 final: Orchard Bar 6, Catholic Working Men's Club C 3. So you have the 4 pool winners there from the leagues, Damien.
Cahill involved with McGuigan's A.
Wonder was he the one loser?
No, I think he won. He was talented at one, yeah. And Marty
right.
Lavelle, I think, was involved with Carrickcruppen, but we're not sure. We'll have to find out about that.
Marty maybe was the winner for Carrick.
Now we'll run through the darts. Sponsored by Newry City Tires. Division 4, the midweek results from the 8th of May. Cove Bar 0, Hockey Club C 8, Veronica's Army 3, Charlie's Angels 5, Trainers Heroes 4, Indo 4, Armagh Down Ladies 1, Windmill Bar B 7, and Hibs B 5, Forkhill GFC C 3. And results from Friday the 10th. Premier Division: McCoy's A 7, Bosco 1, McCoy's Boys 5, First and Last 3, Shane O'Neill's GFC 3, Hibs A 5, Mayo Bridge Social Club 5, Charlie's 3, Seasiders INF A 4, Nummies A 4, Nummies B 0, Boyd's B 8. Big win for Boyd's B. Division 1, Forkhill GFC A 6, Ballyhone INF 2, Drummond T GFC 3, Seasiders INF B 5, 3 Steps A 2, CWC A 6, CWC C 8, Murphy's Mike 0, Hockey Club B 7, Quinn's Camla 1, McGee's A 6, Gap of the North A 2, and in Division 2, Trainers 5, Welcome In 3, Gap of the North B 3, Aaron's Army 5, Killeavy GAC 3, Tycullen 5, Windmill Bar A 3, Doyle's Bar 5, CWC B 4, Lumpers Bar B 4, Lumpers Bar A 5, McGee's B 3. I think there's more teams every week we do.
Seems to be, doesn't it?
Division 3, Pet Shop Boys 6, Trouts Tavern 2, Sleeve Gherkin 3, McCoy C 5, Crenchigo C 6, 3 Steps B 2, O'Hanlon's White Cross 3, Hockey Club D 5, Corner Muckler House 4, Crenchigo A 4, and Ballyhone Harps 4, John Moores 4. And finally Division 4, Cove Bar 0, Forkhill GFC C 8, Indo 7, Seasiders INFC 1, Charlie's Angels 7, Armagh Down Ladies 1, Hibs B 4, Howes Meath 4. That means that Hibs B are Division 4 League champions, and well done to them. Boyd C 3, Hockey Club C 5, and finally Veronica's Army 1, Windmill Bar B 7. So well done to all our dart throwers from last week. Competitions flat out the same as they are in the down leagues as well.
We'd usually have Cairn Bain at this time, Damien, but there's no Cairn Bain fixtures this week at all. We're all cancelled for the weekend. So. And
an update for anybody that's looking: the Bosco's 1-9, Glens 1-8. They can't be much left than that.
She's getting close.
She's getting close. Yeah, Bosco doing well to come back there.
We do a wee soccer round up usually at this time, Damien, and I think maybe Sean's a photograph of Warren Pint. Done the business.
They done the business Friday night. They got through, I think, on the away goals.
They were through on the away goals. They were beat 2-1 on the night, but they had an away goal, so they got through on the away goal.
Fair play to them, yeah. And up there.
Some result for them.
They're up into the Premier Division, I think, for the first time in their history, and well done to Barry Gray and his troops. I think they're actually still out celebrating
Probably are.
in the same clothes they had on Friday night, apparently.
They
Somebody
probably
said.
are. I've seen the champagne getting popped.
And they deserve every minute of it.
They do, and it's credit to them. And I think they started, 3 years ago in earnest, going for this type of thing. And it only took them 3 seasons to even to get there.
Yeah. Some good footballers.
If Newry Town can emulate them in any shape, we'll have 2 local clubs back up there again in the next couple of years.
And it's just disappointing that they have to play their home games now in Dungannon, which is a bit hard for a lot of people to get. We wouldn't normally go to games, but we might go and support them if they were a bit closer.
I think they might relook the situation now, and maybe they might go back to Newry again with proposals. You wouldn't know yet.
I can't see it, but you never know. Hopefully, and well done to Warren Point, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of new signings to try and strengthen the team before the season starts again, sort of August time. Just on our Fury competition, we'll have 2 tickets to give away for the competition this concert, that's on Friday the 7th of June, and we're trying to come up with a really difficult question. But we've decided if you send in your answers to the Facebook page, we'll pick a winner before the show's over. The question is, what colour was the cafe in the Fury's famous song? And it's not 16. Very confusing.
Where can the people at the Destination Newry Facebook do me, is it?
Destination Newry Facebook page, if you post up your answers there.
We'll have a winner by the end of the show.
Sean is in the house, she's going to sort the competition. Tickets are on sale in Carlin Records from tomorrow morning, and here in the studio, priced at $17.50, and it's sure to be a good night and it'll sell out quickly. Now, down ladies.
Big story of the weekend, Damien.
Big story of the weekend. I think before we start talking, we'll show maybe the highlights of the match yesterday, what Sean's going to play here. It's only a minute or so. So enjoy this.
I think it shows the 2 goals, Damien, and it gives you a flavour of the comeback, as they call it. Sean can run it there, can you?
That was the highlights of yesterday's match. If you're a Down supporter, you'll enjoy that, and if you're an Armagh supporter, you'll not want to see it again. But
Parnell Park yesterday.
Parnell Park, yeah.
And it's Down done what they seem to have been doing it over the campaign. They pulled the result out in the last 10 minutes. They've done the same with Longford. If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, it was a last ditch effort. But from what I seen of it now, and I was watching it before I went to the hurling, they seemed to be, when they got that, they were 6-1 down, I think, at half time, and they hadn't been going well. The point they got was off a free close in, Damien.
Yeah.
They had actually got a goal, and the referee had blew the whistle before the goal landed, so the goal was taken off them. But as I say, Armagh played all the football in the first 40-50 minutes, and Down had one of the wee twins, the wee Shamrocks ones.
Yeah, Sinead Orla.
Sinead Orla, one of them was injured.
Fagans, yeah.
They brought on young McNamee from Airbridge, and I think she was.
She got the goal.
She got the first goal, anyhow, and made the second goal.
Well, Kayla Trainer got the first one, so I think the wee girl from the Bridge got the second one. I watched the last 20 minutes, and it came to her and she palmed it in the net. That fight at Barry Green a few years ago, and that sort of they put them 3 points up. Then Armagh got 2 frees.
Yeah, Armagh they just seemed to. Whenever Down got that first goal, the whole atmosphere of the team changed, and they seemed to want it more. You know what I mean? In that last 10 minutes when they did really perform, and it's credit to them. There, a couple of years ago, Armagh would have been given Down.
Well, Armagh won, I think, the All-Ireland last year.
Great, you know what I mean? And I think the 2 teams go up anyhow. So they'll be meeting again each other No, I'm informed there's only one team goes through, so Downshop and Armagh stays in Division 3. So credit to Benji Toner and
Benji Ward and Mark Copeland.
Benji Ward and Mark Copeland. They're doing a great job with these girls. You know a few of them yourself, don't you?
Oh, I know Mark well, yeah, and then, you know, Cahill was delighted with Destination Uri sponsored the jerseys, you know, so he got plenty of publicity, and I'm hoping for a bit of a run now in the championship for the girls. But I know Mark puts in an awful lot of work with attack over there, you know, the Southern Regional College. He's out with Kilcoo helping them, you know, so he's definitely knows what he's at.
He knows what he's at, alright. There's them girls playing good football, and like at the start of this campaign, they drew Armagh in the first game, and they were a bit disappointed with the draw, you know what I mean? And they sorted that out yesterday in style, and like celebrations at the end. I don't know if there was much of them on the clip there, but it was unbelievable, and they were back in the Canal Court after it, and I think it was phenomenal, the reception they got. It's good to see it, Damien. And ladies football in Down would have been the poor relation for a long time now.
Yeah, well, I know in girls football this last number, you know, this year especially, I think they've been struggling to get numbers, and a lot of clubs folded in Down. The Shamrocks been one of them, and some of the girls went to Saville, some went to Bosco. So it's hard to keep them going year after year, you know, when you're not getting the numbers.
And they've a crop from all over the place, and they put their stamp on this ladies football, and they'll be playing Division 2 next year. It's a big step up, but they learn from that, Damien, and it's good for them to get there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've seen Cork won the first division, but sure, Cork beat Mayo. You know, they're flying different levels in first division. And
they're different levels. I don't know how many years in a row Cork wins that.
Yeah.
It's always been Cork and Mayo, nearly that.
But like between Cork and Coruscant.
Cork and Coruscant is right. She mustn't have been just on full flight yesterday, because
there was 5 years marking, I think.
There was 5 marking, I was there. But like, it's credit to Down ladies, and as I say to you, like, we followed their progress all year with them in earlier on, and they were plotting out their plans, Damien.
Well, Mark, in fairness, the first time we met him, he did say
he was plotting out his plans, and like, you can see it there, it's all come into fruition yesterday, and credit to him. And
fair play, yeah.
The county would be well pleased to see the like of that.
But that'll have a knock-on effect now, and a lot of young girls just watching that maybe want to get involved with their clubs, you know, and it only strengthens ladies football and Down.
Ladies football,
a bit of success, you know. So Shauna went down actually and caught up with some of them when they arrived back in the Canal Court.
That's right,
and they wanted to know was Cal buying around a drink, but I'm not sure if he did or not.
I don't know if he turned up or what.
No, but Shauna was there with his credit card. But Shauna got a few interviews, and we're just going to play them now, and of the winning manager and assistant managers, I think.
Assistant managers and a couple of the girls.
Girls as well. So the girls they're probably still celebrating with the 1 point boys somewhere.
There's a good party going on then Down this weekend, Damien.
Yep.
I'm here now with the Down Ladies captain, Sinead.
I'm here now with the Down Ladies captain, Sinead Fagan, and also with Kyla Traynor, who is player of the match. So Sinead, coming to you first, congratulations on a fantastic victory. How does that feel for Down Ladies?
Thanks very much. Yeah, no, it's a great achievement for us. We worked from November onwards, and we fairly deserved it. We worked very, very hard today, and it was fairly deserved.
Kyla, the goals were crucial. What can you remember about the second half goals?
Yeah, I think we got the first goal came at a crucial time where we needed to get a score, and just so happened that it had been a goal, and we were able then to sort of move on from that and create more chances, and sort of kept our man on the back foot, which was a crucial time for us. But then the second goal was the same. You know, we needed that, and that sort of drove us on. But we've left a lot of things to the last 10 minutes of each game, and from the start of the year we've done that, and the 10 minutes seems to be whenever we win, you know, games, and it's proved the same today as it did at Longford.
Kyla, tell us about that first half goal that was then disallowed. What on earth happened there?
Yeah, well, I think he blew the whistle, but I thought he would have played advantage, but he obviously didn't, and then didn't stand, which meant that that would have brought us 2 points in, which I suppose. But I mean, in the second half we had the wind, and then we got them goals. It sort of proved that we hung in there and we could deal with it.
Sinead, coming back to you, 6 points down at half time, eventually going 5 points down, and then eventually going 7 points down. How did you pull it back from there?
I think we learned a lot from the Longford game. We were 6 points down that game. We came out with a win, and we said half time, girls, 60 minutes of football, and look what happened, won by a point, and we're just a great achievement for the girls. And Armagh are a brilliant side, but we came out on top today, and that's what it's all about.
So I'm here now with Mark Copeland, who is the coach for the Down Ladies. Mark, congratulations.
Thank you, it was a good win.
And how did that come about? Because obviously we were behind at half time, we went further behind early in the second half, yet somehow it was turned round.
Yeah, well, like we said after the Longford match, a match only doesn't last half an hour, it lasts 60 minutes. So we knew playing with that breeze in the first half, we could keep them to a good scoreline. We have a good chance in the second half, and we played for the full 60 minutes like we did against Longford, and that's what football's all about, playing for the whole 60 minutes.
And the substitutions actually proved crucial because the two of the substitutes had a hand in the 2 goals.
Yeah, well, yeah, again, similar to the Longford match, the substitutions got the vital goals and the vital scores and had played a part in winning the semi-final. And again, Sinead McNamee came on, Hazel came on, and got the vital goals when it mattered. So yeah, well, that's what substitutions are there for. We have belief in the whole panel of girls. It's not just about the 15 that starts. It's the whole squad that's involved, and we believe in them all. So we could have threw anybody on. We could have got a good result.
McNamee from the Mayo Bridge Club. Sinead, congratulations on a great win.
Thank you, thanks very much.
Sinead, tell us about the goals. So that first goal, were you long on the field at that stage?
No, I was only on for about 5 minutes, and then I passed the ball to Lawrence, just give it over the head, and I hit it in. I was actually going for a point, but it just dropped in, thankfully, and Kylie got into the net, thank God.
I think the Armagh goalkeeper was a bit surprised by it as well.
Oh, yeah, she was. By both of them, they sort of both went over her head.
Yeah, the second goal, tell us about that, because you were involved in the build-up to that goal too.
Yeah, I think it was Shin Fagan got a free in, and I just happened to be on the end of it, and I just seen Hazel coming running in. Thankfully she got a hand into the net, thank God.
Benji Ward, the successful manager, it must feel like a great achievement to have achieved that today.
It was brilliant, a brilliant result for not just for the squad but for Down ladies in general, because we're trying to promote the sport, and that'll hit a lot of young girls. They'll see that and maybe aspire to be a footballer one day and get on TV like those girls.
But with a severe test of people's heart rates in the process, how's the heart now?
What heart? They say I haven't got a heart.
Ladies celebrating yesterday in the Canal Court, and well done to them. And we'll catch up again once again before the championship starts and find out how the girls is feeling leading up to as going in as maybe league champions.
Good league champions is right.
Another update: just 111 to 19. The Bosco's beating Glen at the minute. It can't be much longer than that, so that's an upset. That'll be Glen's first defeat of the year. But we'll run through the results from Thursday night, Paul, if you want to read them out there from the Down club leagues.
In O'Neill's All County Football League Division 1, Loughlin Island 1-9, Rostrava 1-5, Longstone 3-9, Bransford 3-8, Mayo Bridge 3-8, Warrenpoint 10 points, Kilcoo 2-12, Clonduff 6 points, Downpatrick 11, Saville 3-8, Leitrim 7, Annaclone 2-11, and Rake 1-8, Castlewellan 3-19. And in Division 2 on Thursday night, we had Killeaf 8 points, Kerryduff 5-9, Drummond 3-4, Drumgath 1-7, Shamrocks 1-6, Tullaleash 11 points, Glen 2-14, Ballymurton 10, Addycall 10, Darcross 7, Dundrum 6, St John Bosco 11, and Saul 10, St John's 2-9. Your own match was postponed, Damien, on Thursday night, and I think you maybe have Division 3 from Thursday night.
Division 3, we'll run through and then we can talk about a few of them. Auckland's to Finn 110, St Paul's 2-7, Bright 8 points, Mitchell's 19 points, Drummond S 1-5, Taconic 2-10, and Ardagh 6, Killalay 2-8. Agadurg and St Michael's was postponed. So Division 1.
Division 1,
Castlewellan flying.
Castlewellan absolutely flying, shorty at the helmet, and they ate up and raped all. Yeah, they just chewed them up, Damien, and they were scoring for fun. 3-19.
3-19, yeah. They pulled away.
Bit of scoring. Like Castlewellan have no players really in the down panel at all.
No negativity, just open football. He's letting them 6-on-6 and go.
He's letting them out and he's letting them go from. There's no sweepers, and the way Shorty would have played it, there wouldn't have been any sweepers at that time. And we'll up through them there. Loughlin Island, a good win at home to Rostrava. But when you think of them matches for Thursday night there, I mean, the like of Rostrava and that boys working in Dublin and getting away from Dublin to Loughlin Island for a match at 7:30, it takes it out of them, you know what I mean? And results reflect that in case they got to me.
Yeah, well, it makes you ask, why is there 2 matches this week, not next week? Down maybe want to train next week, I think.
That's right, and like it's funny, like you're talking about that there, the Armagh count, their big fixtures next week against Calvin, and all the players were allowed to play today in the divisional fixtures.
A week
before, and Grimley said he's not going to stop them playing club football. And they played today, and You
Some
look,
of them results in shortly.
you look through the rest of the division there. Longstone and Branchford a quarter goal. Longstone 3-9, Branchford 3-8.
I think Poley was out looking for 2 teeth somewhere on Saturday.
I seen that on Twitter. I seen that on Twitter. He must have run into Callum King or
He
something.
must have. He has no teeth anyway.
And Mayo Bridge got back to winning ways. It was said that they were going slowly at the start, Damien, but they got back to winning ways. 3-8 to 10 points over Warrenpoint. And
Yeah.
young man there, Corey Quinn, would mention these. We keep mentioning these young fellas in the studio, Damien. This young fella's a bit special. He got 3-4 out of that 3-8.
Did not, did he?
He's a minor, and he'll be representing Down in minors this year. And he is a wee bit special, this fella, and like 3-4 for a minor in the senior All County Division
Some
1 fixtures.
going,
Square
yeah,
going
yeah.
for him, like.
No fair play to me, but marked man from now on, that's the only thing.
Well, he's a slippery sort of a boy, and he'd be hard to mark to me.
Yeah.
That's one of his big attributes, you know what I mean? And later McGeehan going bad.
Need them going bad. And a clone doing rightly, picking off results, you
They
know.
were indeed picking off results.
With John Hockey in charge, and they seem to be doing better, I think, than people expected. Kilcrew
Yeah.
gave Clonduff an awful hammering.
They did, but Clonduff, again, there was the 4-5-08 some old darts thing in England, and McConville's and
They were at that, I
O'Hagan's,
heard
and
that.
they were all away at some.
Portrait Phil Taylor, one
It was
of them.
booked for. Well, they were very late that Clonduff that night, and Kilcoon put the pressure on them. They didn't give them any mercy.
Kilcrew don't give anybody mercy.
No.
Saville, good win away to down Patrick.
Saville, they keep coming up to
He's
him.
doing, Darren Quinn's doing great
They're
stuff.
flying.
Yeah.
They're flying, and they're getting some results there in Division 1 at the minute. And we're talking about Division. We'll go into Division 2 then, Damien. You have Kerry Duff, you have Khalifa Quirrhiden.
Kerry Duff's flying, yeah, 598 points. Khalifa no struggling for numbers.
As we said
They haven't
before,
won anything, I don't think.
late
yet.
in the season you know what Khalifa's like, championship time.
Yeah.
And Drumgath, I would say that's maybe Drumgath's first defeat. Would it be, Damien? They were flying, like.
Drumgath was going well, yeah. I think Bosco maybe. Shamrocks have Drumgath next Friday night.
It's on a Friday night,
For some reason, I don't
Shamrocks
know.
played Tullaleash last week, and Tullaleash beat them, and Shamrocks wouldn't want to win there at home. to
No,
Tullaleash,
Shamrocks
yeah.
expected, but I think they had 5 or 6 boys injured and exams that they were missing. Tullaleash played the Mickey Hart role, everybody back and break at pace, and they done it. And John McInerney, sticking the ball over the bar. They're going to be hard to beat. Tullaleash playing that way,
Young Hart's over. Sort of
Mark
looking
Hart's
after
over,
them, isn't he?
yeah,
He's looking
yeah.
after them.
St John's a good will against Saul. They backed it up today with a good result. We're going to have them results for you shortly. Glen flying undefeated,
Big win.
2-14.
Big win over Ballymartin.
I've seen
wasn't it?
Shane McCartan released by Burnley,
I've
which
seen that on Twitter the other day, and apparently straight back into Gaelic football, and he'd be an asset to them too, let me tell you.
he definitely will come from professional training back into playing a bit
He'd
of
be
Gaelic.
some asset to them. And good to see him back, to tell you the truth.
Good to see a lad,
He's
yeah,
a good wee
yeah.
footballer, and we only got glimpses of how good he was, and before the Galway over England, and he played. I think he scored 3 goals in a
Down minor championship, yeah,
down
yeah.
minor championship for us, and he's phenomenal wee goal scorer, wee corner forward. And I don't know if he's grew much. You could maybe be looking at towards the senior panel for the Derry match. You wouldn't know.
They're not belong having him.
If he's in the 5 foot training, he wouldn't be out of fitness anyway. That's for sure.
No, Bosco, another good win. They're flying 11 points to 6 to beat Dundrum on Thursday.
Some turnaround from the Bosco from early season. And the Shamrocks gave them a crowd beating. Remember the first match, Damien?
They did, but I think they like said the Bosco and the Shamrocks, they nearly built up too much for that one game.
And
It's a big thing,
it
or
was a
local
dump squad,
rivals,
like,
it's
it
all
was-
this
And the big
nonsense,
crowd
like.
was there and all. And
Nonsense,
It was
yeah,
the end
yeah.
of the dumps. I was at it myself. And Bosco's leveled things up and they're flying. Like, they've a couple of great results off the back of that.
Yeah, well, Glen, Kerry Duff, Bosco, Shamrocks, all up the top of the league. They're, vying for promotion and flying at the minute, going very well. Division 3, Mitchell's back to winning ways with a big score, 19 points from play against Bright. Drummond Ace were beat by Connacht, and I think who else was at the top there? Probably we were talking about.
Well, Auchterarg and St Michael's were postponed. You see, Auchterarg would be
the top
would be
one,
sitting
they
in the
beat
top in that division.
Mitchell's, yeah.
Taconic is probably Taconic, Mitchells and Auchterarg are the teams that really seem to be showing in this division. And Taconic a big win over Drummond Ace, like. You know what I mean? And like Killalea there, I think the Mitchells beat them easy, but the turnaround beat our last 2 8 to 6.
Yeah, so some of the clubs are they don't know what team they're getting from one week to the next. I think that's the
The
problem.
way it is, there's no real setting teams yet, Damien. And they'll all be looking towards the championship, and and you see how good they are whenever championship time comes.
And we'll have some results in from today. The down matches, Division 1, Burn 2-9, down Patrick 3-8, Castlewellan 11, Ballyholland 1-1. I think
Down
that's
Patrick
right.
3-4.
What did they say?
The born ones were squealing to hear that.
What did they say?
You
2-9.
said 3-8.
Sorry, down Patrick 3-4, Castlewellan 11, Ballyholland 1-1. I was going to question if that's a misprint, but maybe not.
I don't think so, no, I think that's right.
Clonduff 12, Mayo Bridge 1-7, and Loughlin Island 9 points, Kilcoo 1-7. Annaclone and Longstone I haven't got yet, it's a late result. Straver, Bransford was
It was
postponed.
waterlogged.
Saville, Leitrim was postponed,
Yeah.
and Warren Point and Rake was postponed.
That's right. Warren Point fields are flooded, and the Failure was postponed to
Failure
Warren
was
Point
postponed, is
over
right,
the
yeah.
weekend too. And Warren Point's not having much luck with the field down there.
No, and
The place
Bourne
is-
still
the place
continue
is
their winning
saturated.
ways over down Patrick.
And the Mayo Bridge there, like we mentioned it here, that would be Clonduff's last game with a
Arthur
Art
also,
and
yeah.
Darn, and I think there's now maybe one of Darn's brothers is going as well. Another Hagan, the younger,
They'll
the younger fella.
Delighted to
They'll be
send the
delighted,
club
with,
winning.
delighted to beat the bridge before they go to America, and they'll be bouncing on the plane after that one.
Yeah. Loughlin Island unlucky against Kilcoo, beat by a point.
And they're winning 5-1 at half time, do you mean?
It must have been a strong wind or something.
It must have been something. Usually whenever you see that there is a strong wind, and if it's in Loughlin Island it'll be windy enough out spot. We're in it many the time ourselves.
Yeah, and we're just spoke about Castlewellan earlier, scoring 11 points, Ballyholland going a point. Ballyholland really struggling. Match against Bourne was off Thursday night.
But they're glad of that.
They're glad of that one, so Shane Mulholland has his work cut out to get the boys going again.
I wonder what's happening up there, because they had the shapings of a good team last year, and
Had what
a few
happened?
good players like.
Paul Murphy got injured, Rooney Murray got injured,
Well, so they
Connor
haven't
Quinn
Murphy.
got injured,
Ah, well then
You
you see
know-
that's the three. What about young Robbie White?
Robbie White got injured. I
You
think
see,
Robbie's
that's the
going
four.
for a knee
That's the
operation.
four or five main players out
Once
there.
you're missing them up in them clubs, you know we've nothing to
You've no
coming
fall
through.
back. Like.
Division 2 results. Tullylish and Attic Hall drew 7 each. The Bosco and Glen, we were keeping you updated there, we're not sure how it finished just yet. St John's, a great win over Carryduff, 2-12 to 1-8. Sol, a good win over Glasdrummond, 2-8 to 1-8. Drumgarth and Shamrocks is this Friday night. Darcross and Breda is Monday night. Clonavana 1-14, Dundrum 3 points, and Ballymartin and Kenneth was postponed. So Tullylish,
The way that league's shaping up too, you're St John's are flying.
St John's a good win there,
It's a
yeah.
brave win today yourselves, Damien. You must have
Good
played
win
well.
against a poor Dundrum side.
Was Dundrum poor,
They were poor and Mucky, was a dirty old day. I suppose it's the same for every club, but
It is,
the boys played well and bounced back from a defeat against Attic Hall a couple of weeks ago, so we're well
And
pleased with them.
you were missing your match of Thursday night as well. You were disappointed, but
I was
it's
on
a
the
good-
phone to you cracking up.
it's a good bounce back for them coming off that defeat and
Yeah.
showing a bit of character
I
again.
just want to get the back playing football. That's why I was annoyed Thursday night, because we got a late call Wednesday night, even though they knew the hurling was on from Sunday. But sure, that's another story. Saul, good win at home to Glasdrummond. Glasdrummond, 1 week to the next, you don't know that we hammered in the
You don't
first
know
game.
what
Then they
they're
came
doing.
back and they beat Attic Hall, I think.
It's proven to be a tight enough division, Damien, too, and it'll not be easy one.
No,
There'll be 6 or 7 in the dust up for
no.
the title before it's all over, won't
Well,
it?
if Bosco win, we'll keep you updated now. If Bosco win that, that's Glenn's first defeat. And Bosco, they've bounced right back from Shamrock, beat them in the first game too.
Bounce right back is
I
right.
don't think they've lost a game since.
They haven't lost a game since it's right. Again, they've no fixtures this week, but I think this Division 3 maybe, Damien.
Division
is it?
3, as I said, the
Division
one
three
fixture,
fixtures.
Drumgarth hosts the Shamrocks on Friday night.
Aye, that's the day it's match supposed to be, isn't it?
That's the days, but it's this Friday, and I think there's a full programme of reserve matches on Friday
Right.
night. Division 3 fixtures for Friday 17th of May. Taconic at home to Ballykindler. St Paul's at home to Bright. St Michael's host Auckland to Finn. Killalay host Agadirg. Dromara will play Ardglass, and Mitchell's host Drummond S. So I'm not sure if we'll have the cameras there. The Mitchells, did you see the Mitchell's Ardglass match? Over 1,000 viewers
Over
watched that
1,000
game.
viewers.
Unreal for Division 3 match, isn't it?
Unreal, and Patsy done a good commentary on it. And
Patsy and
it was
Sean,
hard to
yeah.
commentate that. It was a one-way traffic, and Ardglass have had results since that. Like it,
Results since
it's a
that, yeah.
strange Division 2 team. I mean, there's teams. There's only one team that really is faltering altogether in that division with Ballykindler. They're not. They're
struggling big time,
six defeats on the trot. heavy defeats too. You know what I mean, Damien?
Yeah.
They're struggling to put teams. They're struggling to put teams in the field, and it's a pity too, like, because they're a long-established club in the county, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. We used the facilities for training a lot. What was he? Bosco 1-9, Glen 1-8. No, I think we'll have an update from that, but we're getting a message here. I'm not sure. We'll have to go through the adjudicator and find out if we can say that out loud. A wee reminder just of our competition. 111 to 19. We think it's finished. What colour was the cafe in the Furies' famous song? Get on our Facebook page and send in the answer, and we'll announce the winner at the end.
Before the end of the show.
Just to give you a wee bit of feedback, or what?
A wee bit of a taster.
A taster is the word for the Furies and what it involves and what it's going to be like next Friday night. It's an intimate gig, round tables of 10, so you have plenty of time to get to the bar and get your drinks.
Next Friday night, is it?
No, 7th of June.
7th of June, yeah.
Yeah, getting carried away. I'm looking forward to it that much.
Oh, it's good.
But there's 10 at the tables, tickets is flying out the door, so get yours quickly. And we're going to play a wee tune here that Damien McCullough has selected, his favourite Fury song.
Well, how do you do, young Willie McBride? Do you mind if I sit here down by your graveside and rest for a while? Need the warm summer sun. I've been walking all day and I'm nearly done. I see by your gravestone you are only 19 when you joined the Great Fallen in 1916. I hope you died well and I hope you died clean. Our young Willie McBride, was it slow and obscene? Did he beat the drums slowly? Did he play the fife slowly? Did they sound the death march as they lowered you down? And did the band play the last post and chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the forest? Did you leave a wife or a sweetheart behind? In some faithful heart is your memory enshrined. Although you died back in 1916, in that faithful heart are you forever 19? Or are you a stranger without even a name, enclosed and forever behind the glass frame? In an old photograph, torn, battered and stained, and faded to yellow in the brown leather frame. Did he beat the drums slowly? Did he play the fife slowly? Did they sound the death march as they lowered you down? Did the band play the last post and chorus? And did the pipes play the flowers of the forest? The sun, now it shines on the green fields of France. There's a warm summer breeze, it makes the red poppies dance. And look how the sun shines from under the clouds. There's no gas, no barbed wire, there's no gunfiring now. But here in this graveyard, it's still no man's land. The countless white crosses stand mute in the sand. To man's blind indifference to his fellow man, to a whole generation that were butchered and damned. Did he beat the drums slowly? Did he play the fife slowly? Did they sound the death march as they lowered you down. And did the band play the last post and chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the fall? Ah, young Willie McBride, I can't help wondering why two dogs that lie here, know why did they die? And did they believe when they answered the call? Did they really believe that this war would end war? Well, the sorrow, the suffering, the glory, the pain, the killing and dying were all done in vain. For young Willie McBride, it all happened again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Did they beat the drums slowly, did they play the fife slowly, did they sound the death march as they lowered you down? Did the band play the last post and chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the forest? Did they beat the drums slowly, did they play the fife slowly, did they sound the death march as they lowered you down? Did the band play the last post and chorus? And did the pipes play the flowers of the fall?
And thanks, you're back with us here live in the studio, and we're joined by our old friend Damien McCullough. You're welcome back, Damien.
I'm between two rogues, I can tell you.
You're safe enough tonight. You're safe enough.
A thorn between two roses, you mean?
Yeah, something like that, you know.
Delighted to have Damien again, and that's, he's reminiscing there with that Furies number. It brings him back to 1979, his 30th birthday. But he's going to talk about Thursday night. Heroes and Legends, Night of Orange.
Pure Orange.
Pure Orange. Tell us all about it.
Well, it's in the Canal Court. The throw ends at 7:30, and it's the Heroes of 77 and the Legends of 2002, or depending on what side you're on, it can be either or. So it's all about Armagh, about the 77 running and how how the lads cope with it and what it meant to them and all that. And of course, it was the first All Ireland ticket game, because they thought all us Northerners were going to go up and rack the place, and instead of that, we went up and got soaked. Just wee stories, because everybody has a story to tell about it, and we have all the lads there. They're going to be telling their wee bits, and some of the lads from the 2002, and Francie's going to be there, and you know what, Francie, he doesn't talk much,
No, it's
and
hard to get out.
Yeah, and we're going to try and see, can we get a word or two out of him. So it's all about just a bit of crack, a bit of banter, talking about the championships, talking about how the thing has changed. It's just an amazing fact here, lads, because we're talking about amazing things. Name me the only county in Ireland that won the provincial in 2 centuries and 2 millenniums. I love it when the down men go quiet here,
Wow.
I didn't know we're on the table quiz. But
It's if you come on Thursday night, you'll hear the answer to that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
right.
saying to you.
It's worth going.
Yes, it's worth going to. And of course, it's for the Hospice and St Vincent de Paul, the 2 charities. So it's going to be a good night's fun. It's going to be a great bit of crack. And the first 250 people in gets a can of orange as well. So even if you're a Down man or a Louth man or a Monaghan man, it doesn't matter. In you come, great cause. It's going to be a great bit of fun, a great bit of banter. And the whole thing will be sort of themed on a match. There'll be yellow cards, red cards, and even, Paul, the dreaded black card will be issued on the night.
Lovely.
And I had a great talk with Tom McCreesh about the black card, and he wouldn't be happy with the black card, and he thinks that maybe possibly you can get your best player sent off. Maybe you could put 3 of your not so good players on, get them sacrificed, and then bring in your good players.
We spoke about this before. It's going to come down to, you're going along the lines of American football, where you don't necessarily put your best team starting. You put your men on, maybe go and mark Jamie Clark and try and get them to react and take them with you.
Yeah,
I think
you know, that was another thing Tom talked to me about the honesty in football. And I know football has changed because nothing stands the way it used to be. I thought in '77 that Armagh was brilliant, and when I look back at it, it was awful. Football was dreadful, but that was the times I was in it. And you know, we'd be able to talk about how the game evolved from '77 to 2002, and then of course the championship starts for Ulster next Sunday in Breffni Park, where Armagh go and take on Cavan. It's going to be a hard one, Paul, because it's not an easy place to go and win. So all that's going to be talked about on Thursday.
But I think it's great for them lads of 77-02 to catch up again. You know, because you'd be surprised.
Believe it or not, it's one of the finals that I do remember. You know the way some finals they just pass you by. But 77 is one of the ones that sticks in my mind.
And I don't remember too much.
I do remember it well, and I remember the first half onslaught Armagh had to put up with, and many revival in the second half. If you remember, they come out at the start of the second half, and there's a wee bit of a spark out of them.
There was, but you know, I think
onslaught in the first half was unbelievable.
But I mean, you see, again, it's probably like a whole lot of things happened that now, in hindsight, you know, Armagh maybe should have done this and should have done that, and we'll lads, come on Thursday night and you get all the answers on how it happened and why it happened. Jerry O'Neill's even going to be there. It's going to be
players from both
camps and both years and all that. And of course, you know, I was talking to Kevin Robbie there 2 weeks ago, and I went to his house in Mattery. And I went in, and an hour and a half later, I was still there. So, you know, Kevin started to tell us wee stories about what happened then, and about the cameras being in the change room, you know. And just another wee amazing fact, lads, just when we're on it here. In the drawn match between Roscommon and Armagh, the first game in '77, after that game, I ended up in the change room, Paul. Yeah, well, Croke Park isn't like it is now, you know. Yeah. I went onto the pitch, and I seen the team heading down into the change room, and down I went, and sure, nobody stopped you and you went, you know. And I always remembered it was like the old panelled timber on the walls, and I'm in Croke Park, I'm in the change rooms here.
Well, when you mention that, Damien, I have a wee question for you.
Good man, Paul.
Could you tell me the first man to take a drink out of the cup after the win?
I will indeed, and I'll tell you better than that.
And could you tell me?
Hold on, yes.
He's going for the pub.
Hold on.
I know who he is.
If I had a tenner here, I believe you're going to his wedding.
I am indeed going to his wedding in Spain shortly.
I heard that. Whose wedding are you going to?
Steve Malone from the Newry Democrat.
Steve Malone from Newry Democrat was the first man
outside the team
to drink out of the cup in 2002. He made his way to the dressing room, fair play to him, and he got his neck into the cup. He was the first man outside the team to drink out of the cup.
That's right.
So you should have kept up for later on.
That was good, you know.
But that one in early.
Coming Thursday night, that'll be talked about.
Oh, we still
but it'll be a great Thursday night to compare and hear the lads of 77 in the lead up to their final and the lads from 02 and see the differences. You know, the training, the facilities, what was expected of them, what they got.
You know, here's a wee snippet. In 2002, the Armagh players got a signed letter from the great man himself, Muhammad Ali. What did the 77 boys get? Can't give you the answer.
But just remind people again of our competition. What colour was the cafe in the Furies' famous song? And Shauna said you'd be surprised with the amount of wrong answers.
You'll have one of them letters in from Muhammad Ali Thursday. Ready to get it up?
Well, I don't know.
It's nice to see one of them.
You know, and of course then, you know, if we think back to 77, Paul, Damien's probably a wee bit young for that, like, you know. But when we think, you know, like even the jerseys that they wore in the
remember as well.
You know, and then
that's what I'm saying. Like, comparing the two years, like Armagh 02 was the first, maybe with the tight fitted jerseys. They make them look bigger. The psychology, you know, maybe it was McGeeney after.
See that's another story that's going to be talked about on Thursday night. Who was the 77's psychologist? Who talked?
77, I was young, and I mind.
I was young and you, Paul.
I remember getting all organised, and it would have been the first time an Northern team was in the final in a while. And I remember us getting organised and way down to the uncle's house.
Subtly saying you were down supporting Armagh.
Well, I was down to see them, and I remember, you know, we had to get the biggest television in the area.
Didn't say support there.
He didn't. You wouldn't confirm it.
But we were supporting.
Of course, everybody was supporting.
But we had to find the biggest TV in the area, and an uncle of mine, Catesbridge, had a Brave Days TV. And we had for Catesbridge to watch that match, and I'd never.
Another amazing.
It's one of the things that sticks in your mind. Wee things they got.
Yeah. But those are the stories, because you know, everybody has a story to tell about games. You know, you have loads of stories to tell, Paul, you have stories, I mean, I have stories to tell. Everybody is involved in all that. They have a little story to tell, and of course, you'll hear all that on Thursday night. You know, the tickets are £10, and they can be got in Mona McEntee's in Cross Maglen, in Dan Gregory's at the Green Road, Davin's Bar in Armagh, of course the Canal Court and Jimmy Smith and Lurgan. So it's a great cause. St Vincent de Paul and the
Jimmy'll be
hospice.
there too. Will he doing his
Jimmy,
bit?
yeah, Jimmy will be there. Jimmy will be doing his bit. And of course, when the teams sat down for their match photograph on the day, I haven't seen a coloured one, but on the official black and white one, there's a little mascot sitting on the ground, a little elephant. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know who brought it there or how it arrived.
We'll find that
So,
out.
so we're trying to find that out.
Who owns
So,
the elephant?
Who owned the elephant? I thought I was the only mascot for Armagh.
And the Tiger will be making an appearance Thursday night.
You need to be there. You need to be there to
Well, it
find
was
out,
all part of the package, so it would need to be
It,
something there. wouldn't it?
it would need. You need to be there to see it. It's in the Miller Suite, and it's going to be good fun.
It'll be something different, and it'll be a good night's crack. And it sounds to me as if these black yards and all will be a bit of crack.
Well, just before we move off the subject, Armagh Cavan.
It's going to be. It starts next Sunday, and I can tell
Under
you,
21,
the minors
Ulster champions, aren't they?
Yeah. But it's not even that. It's just that going to Breffni Park, it's a hard place to get a result out of. It's not a happy hunting ground for Armagh, but I think Armagh have the players. But it's going to be tight. It's not going to be easy. Like the minors, I think this starts at 12 o'clock or 12:15, so it's an early start for the minors, and then the big ones at 2 o'clock. So, like, Paul Grimley had his team out in Darcy last week, or as they say up there, Dorsey. I'm not allowed to say Darcy because Darcy's a girl's name, So in Dorsey, and Jamie Clark was
You were
back.
corrected on that one.
I was a
few
couple of
times.
times. And Jamie scored 3 goals. Jamie's one of them players, but Jamie Clark's not going to win the game on his own. We can't expect him to win the game on his own. But I think that if Armagh, I think that there'll be about 13 players will be nailed. They will know.
Tonger's not going to be fit, is he?
Don't think so. I think there's going to be 2 places. There's going to be 2 spots to 3 spots up for grabs from now.
But new debutants or people you don't expect to start.
Any word of a referee yet, Damien?
Well, I can confirm without a shadow of a doubt it'll not be me.
No.
Because it'll be very biased.
I can confirm he will be in.
I don't know. Well, we hope that whoever it is has a bit of sense.
Funny enough, when talking with referee, I was working with Mons during the week there, and he mentioned refereeing, and you refereed him at one time. A gentleman by the name of Calvin McNulty.
Oh yes,
good
story.
I don't think he's loud in Killeavy at the minute.
Another good story there, an amazing fact.
No,
Gavin was good footballer, but he stopped playing football. He was too young, and I'm talking Billy Joe Padden. Billy Joe's 31, and Billy's going, I said, Billy Joe, you have a good 10 years left in you yet. He's playing well for Carrickcroft, and unfortunately their match was off today because the pitch was in not too good a shape in Killeavy. The referee walked down the pitch and he says, well look, if I start the match and it starts to rain, I'm gonna stop it.
And both teams are ready
to go. Well, both teams were on the field ready to go. Carrickcroft, and I thought they were lining out, and then the 2 managers got together, they had the wee talk, and I think good sense prevailed, and the game was suspended. It didn't start, so it's going to be. Well, they say it's going to be starting next Friday, but I can't see it, Paul. I can't see it because Carrickcroft they have 3 county men and they have two county minors involved next weekend. So that's 5.
You mentioned the minors there, Damien, and your minors would be going in with a good shout.
They would get in with a good shout because
a good team. They're a fair team at the minute.
They've nothing to fear with Cavan. If they can get over Cavan, who knows where it can stop for them. They're a good bunch of players.
There's a bit of a nucleus of a good team coming off that St Paul's and
St Michael's and Lurgan.
Michael's and Lurgan. And
I think that's one of the things. But from the good side of St Paul's, St Michael's doing well.
I think the manager had them out this morning.
He had them out this morning.
At 9 o'clock or something.
I know
somewhere. And there was
because our fellow was well this morning, and he was working very late last night. And he got home and he didn't get much sleep, and he was away again. And he came home again, and it was a bad old morning and all that. But Paul Doyle has them in good shape.
Well, really early this morning, I know that.
Yeah, so I think there'll be in a house match between them. But you try to get something out of our boys, like trying to.
You won't tell you.
No, tell you whatever what stays in the camp is in the camp. So
that's good. That's the way they're taught.
You get absolutely nothing from them. But all I know is that they'll go with confidence next week, and if they can get a good run with the lads from St Paul's who played well in the McCrory, and I go back to that McCrory final. And I run it in my head a million times, And I think
never leave you, David.
Well, the referee had to give us another 3 minutes, but another 3 seconds. But that happens. That's
football. Never leave you.
So look, at the end of the day, we had a very good season, and the whole thing really starts next week.
Well, back the senior game maybe for a minute. We didn't talk much about it, but Calvin would be their tails up, Damien, and they'll be expecting to win at home. And
Calvin have nothing to lose. Calvin have nothing
to lose, and they've a mixture of. These young fellas coming with the
McKernan is a huge loss. Gord McKernan,
he's a great player.
Big
player.
That fella had all-star.
Yeah.
Right across himself this year. He's a super
footballer. He was the only Calvin representative in the Ulster panel, and he's nearly bit down on his own. Was that the kind of cup we watched?
He's a great footballer, and he'll be a huge loss for Calvin. But then who knows? Maybe he might end up playing next week. You don't know. And then of course there's all the old mind games. Who's not fit and all that. Bottom line is, Armagh and Cavan start the Ulster Championship, and from our point of view here in Ulster, you know, this is the start of the summer.
This is the start of the summer.
It mightn't look like it outside, but
well, Cleveland Clearwater had a great song. Here comes the rain, you know, and it hasn't stopped. So I hopefully next Sunday it stays dry. Cavan isn't a great. It's not a great place to go to.
Not for us.
It's hard, you know.
We're the same one. We had, you
know.
So
I
good
remember
luck to Armagh next
I remember
Sunday.
doing an interview in Calvin. You talk about stuff and you come up with stories. I remember at half time in Calvin, we were winning by 2 or 3 goals, and I went on to the field at half time to do an interview with BBC, looking forward to the next game. Now,
You
I jumped
did?
the gun, right? I had a load of children living with me all lined up, you know, for this interview with BBC. Kieran McCabe was unleashed for the second half. I think he scored 3 goals in one leg. And the interview was scrapped and I was scrapped and we were all scrapped down the
The
road.
last time you were BBC.
That's right. I'll never get back to BBC.
That's why you ended up here.
That's why I'm in the air.
Well, look, those are the things that can happen in Championship.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. And the way teams are prepared now, I mean, it's like, who'd want to be an inter-county manager? Not for all the money. I mean, you're a club manager. You know the pressure with that. I mean, for a county manager, you know, you have to keep all the lads right, because there's some lads you can do this with, there's some lads you can do that with, and then you have all the family, and then you have all the supporters to look after. You have a million things.
But that's the job that goes with it. And I heard another. You're all talking about these amazing facts. Everybody must be talking about them. Fergie was away from Man United, and in his 26 or 29 years, there was never a sports psychologist involved.
Didn't need them.
And they always away from Man City too.
Well, he's not away yet, but it looks as if Mancini's going to be getting
He's going to get the boot.
Getting the
He's going to
P45.
get the boot
Yeah.
after the
And who, if he was pushed aside, who would come in there?
He wouldn't know.
You know,
that's a discussion for another day. But
And
good
here-
luck on Thursday night with your.
Well, just to tie
Right,
in with
go on.
Thursday night, Jerry O'Neill,
Yeah.
Martin O'Neill, yes, Martin
Jerry
O'Neill.
taught me in school.
Martin O'Neill trained the 77 boys a couple of sessions in Armagh back in the day.
There you are.
So there's another wee amazing fact.
Jerry O'Neill, is that his brother? Is that Martin's
Yes,
brother?
yeah.
He's the son playing for Down Hurling.
Right, very
Hull.
good.
Was he?
Well, he played for South Down last year, but he got a bad injury.
Jerry used to live in Newry years ago. I think he's up in
Jerry's
Korea
son
now.
played for South Down Hurlers and he made it onto the Down senior team last year.
Fair play to him.
But he got injured and he hasn't played since. Good hurler.
Well, the only thing, lads, from a Down point of view, is you're buzzing this week because of the great results you've had. You know, disappointed yesterday that Armagh didn't win, but goals win matches.
That's right.
And fair play. And you talked about wee Sinead scoring a second goal.
Great girl.
Super footballer, lovely girl, and
And a long line of footballers in that family too.
she's a great footballer, and she's huge potential. And you know, who knows what happens in the championship? Now the whole build up is for the ladies' championship as well. So well done to Down and the results yesterday. But you know, this is only the first crack of the whip.
That's only
you
the
know.
start. It's all
So-
about championship, and it's great to get these two boys started, but just can't get them. Staying on till about 9 o'clock. Sean's waving here. There's 3 minutes left. I'm a mountain of stuff to get through. But Damien, thanks for coming in.
No bother.
We'll maybe catch up again next Sunday night after Armagh via Skype, or you'll come in and talk to us, see how they get on, and good luck Thursday night.
No, you'll be back in time. You'll be back. You'll be back in time. You'll be back in time.
And I'll try and referee between the two boys. Yeah.
Later much 12 o'clock.
I said it's an early start next week.
It's an early
Sorry for
start,
Sean
we'll
there in the
be back in.
background. Once we start talking, we can
No,
talk.
Sean says he doesn't get paid after 8. That's 8 o'clock. But
And he's here from
moving
4.
on, you know Fergal McCormick.
Great man.
Great man for
Fergal.
Down
Another
football.
amazing fact before we
Yeah,
finish.
go.
Another amazing fact.
Well, we're going to go through his Irish
Yes.
News Large Club of the Year.
This man
one
beside
like that.
me, and Fergal McCormick, won.
McNamee Awards, that's right.
Both won McNamee
Both won
Awards.
McNamee Awards.
Congratulations.
When you mentioned Warren Point, Damien, and
Yeah.
thanks to Damien again for coming in. Enjoyed the crack, and it was a good bit of banter, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's what this show's about. But you mentioned Fergal, Warren Point, they're celebrating 125 years of foundation of the club. But they won the Irish News Large Club of the Year in the Wellington Park in Belfast on Friday night. And John Bralla acknowledged Warren Point achieved phenomenal success, setting strategic targets and achieving all goals. The judges were very impressed by the quality and creativity of the CPN club in general. And we caught up with Fergal Friday night at the opening night and a bit of a now, Sean, can you?
Whenever you're ready, go. Here we have Fergal McCormick. Well, Fergal, first of all, congratulations. I believe that you're just back from the Irish News Club of the Year award, and Warren Point have won the Large Club of the Year. Unbelievable.
Yes, it's obviously it's a great team effort. It's a great boost for the club. We won it 2 years ago, and To be honest with you, we never thought we'd win the second time. So in our 125th year, winning the Ulster Irish News Large Club of the Year is it's a great achievement. But it reflects a lot of volunteer effort put in across the club. I think the judges in their citation acknowledge the quality and the breadth of our activity, and more importantly, they particularly singled out a lot of our new initiatives. I mean, our new off the field, our new community initiatives. I mean, in the past year, we launched our Pointer project. We had 20 young people, boys and girls, from the age of 15 to 20, a whole year-long development programme. Finished up in Pittsburgh, but long before they got to Pittsburgh, they did a lot of programmes in the town. And the morning after St Patrick's Day, they were up at 6 o'clock with the local council workers cleaning the streets. And you know, you put that along with our healthy living initiatives. For example, our Family Fun Day this year, we brought along the Northern Ireland Fire and Rescue Service with the Action Live, Man Cancer. We had, we've stopped. We're giving out fruit to all our teams at present.
1-2-5 celebrations just gone by, and of course last year winning the intermediate championship and just been beaten by a kick of the ball in the Ulster final. You know, it was an unbelievable year for the Point, so to speak.
Yeah, it was a good year, but to be honest with you, we're on a journey and we have a long way to go. But just at present, we feel that there is a momentum there. Now, obviously in the Down League, Senior League, we've lost 2 of our first 4 games, but I can honestly say the players are putting in a super effort. You know, last night against Mayo Bridge, we conceded 2 goals. The match was level with 2 minutes to go. Against Kilcoo, we were level with 1 minute to go. So you know,
is there a young side, Fergal, has to be said.
A young team, and the good thing is that Martin Houlihan and Kevin Franklin, really, to be fair to them, there's a lovely spirit there, and the key is, as long as we keep our spirit and our momentum, I think come the end of the year we'll be okay.
And you have a whole lot of children here tonight to meet the Down players. You know, that's a great sign as well, Fergal.
Well, I mean, our youth membership last year rose by 20%, and our games development and coaching officer, Ron McMahon, deserves great credit. I mean, we launched a games development and coaching plan, a wholly integrated plan for the entire club last year, and we currently have 35 Gaelic football coaches, 22 hurling coaches, 6 ladies Gaelic football coaches, and 5 camogie coaches. Now, to do that and link that into the local school, where Alan McCormick, to be fair, has been doing big work on the whole area of club-school liaison. Now, if you think, Paddy, 3 years ago we were playing Gaelic football, hurling and camogie. You know, we've now launched ladies Gaelic football last year following a legacy project from the school. This year we've provided a new handball wall for the primary school, and we fielded our first ever handball team in the Failure on Wednesday night, and they won the Division 2 league.
Well, Fergal, it's always a pleasure to speak to you, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you in Destination Uri throughout the year. Good luck.
Thank you very much, Paddy, and first, great to see what we have here today, really young players in the county players meeting. Thank you very much.
And again, congratulations to Warren Point Club of the Year. Fergal stepped in there.
Disappointed this weekend. The failure was cancelled because of the floods.
But I think it's on again next week.
It's on again next Saturday, and we wish them well with it.
And also congratulations to St Paul's School of the Year in the Irish News Awards on Friday. Again, recognises all their achievements and hard work throughout the year. Paul has a bit on the Down hurling.
Down hurling yesterday, and we'll give you the results from yesterday's hurling games as we have done this few weeks. And Christy Ring Cup round 2A, Kerry 14, Derry 8 points, Kildare won 16, Meath 22. That was after extra time. In the Christy Ring round 2B, Armagh 111, Down 120, Wicklow 419, Mayo 310. In the Nicky Record Cup at Roscommon 16, Donegal 116, and Tyrone 219, Monaghan 110. So that'll leave Tyrone and Donegal in the final of Nicky Record. And the Larry Maher from Fermanagh drew with Warwickshire 15 points to 112, and that was after extra time, so they'll have to go again. And Longford beat Leighton 312 to 07. And after yesterday's results, Kerry and Meath go through automatically to the semi-finals, and it's Down, Wicklow, Kildare and Derry go into a draw in the morning to see who plays each other to play one of them teams in the semi-final.
So them 4 have to play off.
Them 4 have to play off, and there'll be one winner coming out of them 2 games who'll face Kerry and Meath in the semi-finals of Christy.
Who would your bet be on that one? I know you're a Down man, but in the way the games are going.
The way the games are going, we had a tight run game with Kerry last week, and Kerry went out yesterday, and like we'd have fancied Derry, you know what I mean, but Kerry beat them handy enough yesterday, and we were disappointed not to beat Kerry. We should have beat them. And talking about yesterday's match in Armagh, and by all accounts now Armagh were understand if a few players, Gaffney's out, and if a few players out, and they were over reliant on Declan Coulter a bit, you know, to get the scores. And the big problem was, they couldn't score from play.
Right.
The bulk of the scores come from frees.
Didn't cost McLean, was it?
We had a young man, like normally we be talking here with Paul Branoff, he's our man, he's our hero, and like another young lad stepped up to the mark yesterday. Branoff was there and he had his 6 points as usual, and Magic had his 6.
Were you expecting a lot more?
No, but like another young man, we don't talk much about, James Kyle, stood up to the mark yesterday and he scored 7 from play. He was phenomenal in the corner. Unbelievable lad was. And another man deserving special mention from yesterday is a young lad, Patrick Hughes, he's from over the Ards, and he was playing number 4, and I'll tell you what, like normally you give the boy 07 would be shouting for man of the match, but this boy was unbelievable. He never let a thing
So
pass
you're man
him.
of the match?
Patrick Hughes, he never let a thing past him. He gathered up everything, he swept everything. He was just unbelievable. You know, he had one of them days, and the Armagh forward, the young Carvel, he's a brave hurler. He normally 6 to 8 points, you know what I mean? He got 2 yesterday, and one was from a free, and that boy Hughes was in the corner, and he never let a thing in, you know what I mean?
But you got to be scoring, Paul. You can't expect frees to win your matches.
120 would have got 6 from Magic and 6 from Branoff and 7 from young Kyle, and young fella Donald Hughes. Your match was off on Thursday night, Damien. You were wondering about Breda. Had they got players in this hurling team at all? Well, they unleashed a young fella yesterday at half time, and his first contribution was a goal. It was a great goal too. Rarely you see a goal like it. You don't know the Armagh goalkeeper, do you? I think he plays full forward for Keeda. He's a big lad. He's a big lad, Damien, and he's a huge big man. And the wee lad Donald Hughes was coming through, and he was clean 1-on-1, you know. And he seen the big fella coming, and I'm sure I'd have done the same myself. But it was lovely to see it. He had the wherewithal and the ability to. He tapped the ball up into there, and he just went like a tennis shot like that out over his head. And nested lovely into the corner. It was class, you know. But it was witty.
Well, that proves that lad's got what it takes.
He has what it takes, you know what I mean. To be able to think and do that in that split second, it was lovely to see it, and it was lovely finishing. And Armagh went up the field and got a goal, and they done their best. But as I say, Declan Coulter, they're great hurler he is, do you mean? And they're over reliant on him.
He scored in one of the matches a couple of years ago.
I think
he
got
scored
7.
3-5 or something, and he broke a stick.
He got 7 out of the 111 yesterday.
And he threw the stick, along the side. So I was just joking about, and I walked over. I picked the stick up, and the stick was broken, but it wasn't split. If you know what I mean, you know. So I know, Declan, can you sign that? Yep, signed it, and I still hit that. Another amazing fact.
And our young man for him last week, Paul, he was still suffering. Remember we talked about the chop he got? He was still suffering from that ankle, and he wasn't fit to go on yesterday. I'm sure he would have got on because they changed him all about. And I'll have to say now, the management and all belonging to Down would be happy because they scored yesterday where they didn't score last week. So they took their chances yesterday.
Pleased with the performance.
Well pleased.
An improvement on last week, and keep in touch for the draw tomorrow morning.
The draw will be tomorrow morning. We'll have it straight up on.
It'll be on Twitter and Facebook if anybody's interested.
And
their match will be played next week, will they?
Their match will be played next week, and it's knockout. And Armagh now, they have to look forward to the Ulster Championship. And they fought hard yesterday. They scored 111, but they've lost the championship to look forward. And they beat us in the Ulster Championship last year, so
the
season's not over for them.
They're a young team, so they're building for the future.
There's a young lad Gaffney, and he's a great hurler, but he wasn't there yesterday. He was injured or something. Damien, a big loss.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, Paul, it's all about the championship.
What do you call the big keeper? What's his name?
It's not
a competition for next week.
Admired him, and he was a great keeper.
Hold on, we have
Joseph Borg.
Yeah.
Joseph Borg. He plays full forward for Keely, I think. And
yeah.
The wee lad,
back if he was coming around
the wee lad wasn't going to take him on, I know, you know what I mean? And he's done the right thing.
But that's called cuteness, Paul.
Cuteness, it was lovely to see it, and we'll maybe try and have a wee clip it for you for next week. It'd be a joy to see it again. And from the Christie Ring, that's probably all.
That's all. We're going to move on now. Maybe what have you got, Lou?
Well, we'll have the rankings for the counties from after the league campaign, and we're not going to go through them all. Football, we're not going to go through them all. Down or in 8th place, they didn't change. They haven't moved.
What do you get for coming 8th?
No, well, they're in 8th place in the rankings after the league. And
where's Armagh sitting, Paul?
Armagh are sitting in 16th. They've come up from 17th.
We've moved
up a position. And
well, I think when I look at that, Paul, and I see what's below them,
the biggest mover in it, Damien, is Wexford. They're down 6.
Just let me see these ones. I sort of think that
above Armagh, maybe.
Well, Armagh's 16. So if we look who's 15, 15 Limerick. No, Meath, Monaghan, Galway.
Meath moved up too, like a good league campaign. So would Monaghan a good league campaign?
I would say Laois, Laois are a hard team. You know,
Hard, tough
team.
then.
I don't know how Limerick is sitting at 15.
No.
You know, they won
Did
Division
you
4 or
make
something.
these rankings yourself?
No, that's official from the top table.
Well,
That's-
I would say now, like Limerick, I mean, you couldn't realistically see Limerick being 15th.
It
I know
must
from
be
an Armagh point of view, we have slipped down all right, you know.
It's probably
you
worked
haven't-
out on
you almost
statistics
haven't.
and scores and
all that.
points and everything.
Armagh actually up one, Damien. And
But you know what they say about
Next
statistics.
week they'll be up 4 or 5.
Well, we'll not say anything of that yet. But I don't want to commit a BBC moment, you know.
I know. When you mention that there, Damien, we'll have to stop committing these moments here. We talked with Don Gordon a couple of weeks ago, and now this week we have more news from Australia. Damien, maybe we keep us up to date. Young Mooney drafted back into the first team on Saturday.
Scored 5 goals
And
for
we're
reserves last week.
getting beat by 24 points when he came on, and he turned the match round. And he scored a goal to draw the match for him. He was flying. He was taking up, or he was replacing Marty Clark, who pulled up with a hamstring. But just after he scored the goal to draw it, he went for a ball. It was one of the Fremantle ones was going for a mark, and he tapped it out of his hand like I seen the clip of it, but the two knees banged head on, and he went down, and he had to be gathered up, and it didn't look good for him. So our two Australian stars are out as
But he went
well.
off and he came back on again. He came back on that same match.
He came back on, but he wasn't.
wasn't
he
himself.
wasn't
But
himself.
I think if it's a if it's an impact straight
It was
on,
an impact
it's probably
straight
better,
on.
it's better than a twister. You know,
it was a
something
straight
like that.
impact of the two knees hit each other.
Hopefully it's just heavy bruising or something. It'll take him
So
a
we'll
while
have
to
to
get over
report
it.
that, and we'll do
Well
follow
done,
Keelan.
well done, yeah, well done.
We'll
to
follow
Keelan.
Keelan.
Super stuff.
I don't know what you have, Damien, or what you've left, or
Well, I've left our competition. What colour was the cafe in the Furies' famous song? I'm going to give you a clue. It wasn't 16. And
Did somebody answer 16?
We had blue, we had yellow, we had green.
You're joking.
I got it right.
Okay, what is the answer?
Oh, absolutely.
Red. The Red Rose Cafe.
Down at there.
So, congratulations to Dave McNulty. His Facebook name is DJ Dave McNulty. So, we'll be playing out a few tunes tonight. Dave, 2 tickets sitting here for the Furies for yourself, and you're not allowed to stick them on eBay. You have to go yourself.
Well done.
So, well done to
D. McNulty.
DJ Dave McNulty.
Well
So he
done.
comes in here to the office of Railway Avenue. You can lift your 2
Could
tickets
we-
from tomorrow.
Could you finish the programme on a few words of the song?
No, we've been all week
No.
trying to finish the programme.
That's
as you
you
say.
but tuning in on a Wednesday night. That's the when you're in the wrong show.
Yeah, you need to be here at weddings, you need to do.
So,
Well,
well,
what
amazing facts.
amazing facts we have now.
Okay.
Well,
Well, if everything
seeing
is
it-
finished.
Seeing it was the FA Cup yesterday, one wee fact from it, it was the first final in which both managers had the same name since Matt Busby and Matt Gillies in the 1963 when Man United played Leicester.
There you go.
So 2 Robertos yesterday and 2 Matts in 63. Brave
That's
way,
amazing, yeah.
isn't it? Now a wee one, this is a quick one, and I have a good one for you.
Right, okay.
It takes 3,000 cows to supply the NFL with enough leather for a year's supply of balls. Did you believe that? Did you believe that now? You wouldn't believe that one. I said to take the cows in because we'd understand it. You
And
know
what do
I
they do
mean?
with the cows and make them into balls?
Well, they take the hide of them and make the balls, but that's what it takes. But here's the one for this week. This is the
Last
big one.
one, we're finished on this.
Sean's a photograph of this gentleman. And the Toledo Blade, a San Francisco newspaper, on June the 26th, 1969, reported that Larry Lewis celebrated his 102nd birthday by running 100 yards in 17.3 seconds. Now the time was a half a second faster than his time the year before when he was 101. But a wee bit about Mr. Lewis, as we do, we have to do it. And the computers, the Google will be going mad now at the minute. I love that, you see. Mr. Lewis, he ran away with the circus in the 1800s, and he trained away and worked away and run and jogged, and he made a missed his calling in life. He walked 5 miles a day, so he did, to work in the San Francis hotel he worked in. He moved in there when he was 80 to become a waiter after leaving the circus, right? He's probably the oldest gainfully employed person in the United States, as well as the fastest. And his prescription for eternal youth, what was that? Always leave the table still a wee bit hungry. And that's the bowl. Larry Lewis, you call him, he was at 102, he held the world record for the 100-yard dash in 17.3 seconds.
That's
And there's a
amazing.
photograph
That's
up the
amazing.
screen there of him the same gentleman.
Well, maybe get you out and see how quick it takes you to
The
run
poor
100
creator, he
yards.
died 4 years later at 106. So
I think
It's not down.
that should be the
So we'll
bet
put-
for next week.
we'll put Larry Lewis
We'll
into
get
the
the
Hall
video
of Fame.
cameras out and we'll mark the street out there and see how long it takes you to do.
We'll put Larry Lewis into the Hall of Fame this week. There you go.
Right, that's
Larry
well
Lewis.
done. You love your circus facts, don't you?
No, well, that's a good one. Like, it's a wee bit of sport involved.
That's a good one. But again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to Damien McCullough coming in and giving us a bit of crack. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Don't forget Heroes and Legends Thursday night. Fury's concert 7th of June. Tickets from in Kjartan Records from tomorrow morning. And we'll see you all again next Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Thanks.
Right.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.